thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You're watching Still Toking with. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome show scheduled for you as always. And with us, hey, you showed up, Benjamin.
I hope my PC stays working. But yeah, I was logging in and Don actually called because he was having trouble getting in. So we might have a little tech issues at first, but we'll get it fixed.
We'll blame Don.
Yeah, we'll blame Don.
Jeffrey.
So I see him, but I don't know if he can hear us.
I have no idea. It'll be fun to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it will be fun to find out. You know, but happy Wednesday, everybody. It is it's Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
it's always Wednesday. It seems like it's always Wednesday.
Right.
You know, which is really, really weird. But, you know, Halloween is over.
Well, it's supposed to be.
Well, it's supposed to be. You know, Halloween's over. I had a lot of fun. You know, I love little kids, blah, blah, blah. You know, and yeah, so what's next? Turkey. We get to have turkey
no idea.
next, right?
What's next?
Is that turkey? You know?
Yeah, turkey.
Turkey, okay. Oh, there he is.
Don.
Welcome.
Oh, we don't have your audio.
That's okay. He can do sign language.
Yeah, if there's a setting button on the bottom, you may need to change your audio.
I don't know. Can you hear us, Don? Give us a shake.
No, he can't.
Okay.
Nope, he can't hear us.
Well, Ben,
Oh.
you want to give him a call back?
Yeah, give him a call back. He's looking
Right,
good,
hold
though.
on. Right?
Well, we'll get these figured out in just a bit. And a bunch of comments coming in, so definitely a lot of...
We can see you. No, we can't hear you. So, okay, so your audio is... So down the bottom of your screen, you'll see a gear that says settings. Camera's good. Is there more than one option? The iPad mic. Okay. Okay.
No, is he on an iPad?
Yeah, hold on, Jeff. Yeah, he's on an iPad.
Okay, because on the iPad, he should just be able to use the iPad microphone.
That's what he said.
But he might have to turn the volume up.
You might have to turn the volume on the mic up. He said it's up.
It's up. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I can hear him faintly.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't we do that? Go ahead and hop out and try to restart it. All right.
Right. Now, Ben.
Where's... I'm listening, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, Ben.
I can pop him out from... Oh, he got it.
Okay. When he logs in, because he doesn't have earbuds or anything, right? Okay. So he's not
but he
using
said
earbuds or
he's used
anything.
StreamYard before.
Yeah. And when he first logs in, he's got to go into the settings, and microphone needs to be set to iPad. I don't know if we're going to get a reverb from it, though.
Okay.
Well, also maybe sometimes settings switch something else if you had something else there.
I hear you.
Oh,
we
there
hear
you
we
are.
can hear you.
All right.
Surprise!
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's
I know
never
what
a dull
happened.
moment.
I think I know what happened. I had mistakenly originally entered on from the link earlier, the first link, and that said it was ended. And then I went and entered the other one, but I probably had two open, so it couldn't handle it or something. So once I got totally closed down the first one and came back.
Sounds like a bad marriage. You have two open.
I guess so. But we got it's all fixed now. That's all
We're
that
good.
matters.
We are good.
Yeah. All that matters, I got it fixed.
So
We are
welcome.
good.
We actually had to figure out all this while we were live. That's pretty cool.
Jeez.
Right?
I'm sorry.
Surprise!
Sorry about that.
So how you doing,
Oh no!
Don?
Don't be
Do you
sorry.
like Don or
Don't be
Donnie?
sorry.
Oh, Don or Donnie, it doesn't matter. I answer to both.
Okay.
A lot of my friends still call me Donnie. I just, back in the day when after I left Happy Days and I, wanted to not just be associated with that one character, and I thought, well, now I have to be grown up, So for billing, I changed to Don.
I don't blame you,
Don't
actually.
mind me.
You
I'm
know,
sharing
and
this. I
it's
didn't
you know
get a
it's
chance
much
to
better
do it.
than Donald.
Yes, it's much better than Donald. Yes, and that is the name on my birth certificate. But
Yes, Donald. Yep,
yeah,
yep. I looked that up. Yep.
yeah,
Very, very good. So everything's good with you? Sorry, I'm
yeah,
multitasking here.
yeah. Everything's pretty good. I recently, my wife and I recently moved from the Los Angeles area to Colorado to be
Oh,
closer
wow.
to our daughters here, and we just became grandparents. So
Oh, congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, it was exciting.
Congratulations.
So yeah, we're in a whole different it's a different phase. We're near Boulder, that area, that part of
Oh,
Colorado.
okay.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I'm
nice.
freezing up.
getting
Yep.
used to it. It's not freezing yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
You know, I've never been there. I've always, Colorado's on my bucket list of places to visit.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, the country, and I haven't even been really up into the mountains yet, which I'd love to get up there. Uh, but
Well, let me know if you find any tunnels that go through. I heard there's tunnels that go through the mountains.
oh, okay. Are they secret tunnels? Are they?
I don't. Well, I don't know. I mean, but I've heard there's tunnels. You can just go right straight through the mountains.
All right, I'll have to look into that. I want to research that. Sounds like it'll be fun. So,
I mean, they might have been alien
Okay.
built or something. I'm not sure. You know.
yeah, it might be.
Oh,
It might
boy.
be an alien of alien origin.
Or it could be a Bigfoot
Oh,
passage.
boy.
Yeah, it could be that too.
Well,
You know?
didn't Mork and Mindy take place during in Boulder,
Yeah.
Colorado?
Yes, I think that is
Mhm.
correct.
And Mork, I mean, first appeared on Happy Days, so I mean, there's a connection right there.
Maybe that's why I'm here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, possible. I was drawn, although I don't think so. Somehow I doubt that.
Actually, I think you're here because you're on a New York high.
Yeah, but then I'd be in New York if I was on a. Well, I guess I could. I'm from New York, so but I'd be on a Colorado high right now. Well, Colorado is high. I'm at 5,000 feet right now, so
Right. That's a Rocky Mountain high.
it's a Rocky Mountain high. Exactly.
Right. How long ago did you move to Colorado?
In mid-July.
There we go.
Mid-July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty new. Very, very. It's really beautiful out here, though, and it's, I was in LA a long time, and it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to get out of LA.
The hustle and bustle.
Yeah, where are you?
South of Boston in Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah, hearing a little of that dialect, and what about you, Ben? That's where you are too.
Yes, south of Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, Ben's actually in America's hometown of Plymouth.
Oh, Plymouth, but Leo's in Connecticut.
Yes, yeah, I'm in Connecticut.
Oh, what town?
Over near Mystic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mystic. I was there once.
Yeah, it's a beautiful town.
Nice. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Once.
Did you go to the aquarium?
I don't recall. It was a while ago. We might have, but probably a good chance if we were with my kids. I'd have to ask my wife. She would remember better than me for some reason. Those kind of trips.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I remember it being a very, very lovely town, Mystic. Yeah.
Yeah, parts of Connecticut are very, very beautiful. I just don't
Yeah.
like driving through it.
Heck, Connecticut gets a lot of hate.
It
Yeah.
does. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's that association to New York, that New York high.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even when you're in Connecticut, you could feel a New York high.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. So is that album is that out yet? It is out, right?
Oh yeah, it is out. What happened is the album, the whole CD, it's called New York High, is out. It's on iTunes and Spotify and Apple Music and all of that. But the single, New York High, my producer, for various reasons, wanted to release that officially in the UK. And one of the reasons, one of the writer, Mike Reed, wrote the song with a gentleman named Max Restaino. And Mike Reed is in the UK. He's a very well-known DJ, very well-known. And so anyway, they released it in the UK first, and it's climbing the chart there. There's a chart called the Heritage Chart. And it entered the chart a few weeks ago at number 40, and then it moved up to 30 something, 32, 26, 20. It's now at 18. Now it's at 14. So it's doing really well over there.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I listened to it this afternoon, actually, because obviously I've got to look you up and figure out what I'm doing and what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
So I had to look up the New York High and
Wait a minute.
What?
You had to look him up?
No.
But
Let me
recent.
rephrase that. I had to look and see what he's currently working on and find his new music, because New York High is your third CD or your third album out, right?
Yes, it is my third album.
Right.
Yeah. The last one was about 6 years ago, called Mostly Swinging. Most, Mostly Swinging.
Yes, Most. Yep.
And this one's New York High. Then there was one way back in 76 or something like that, called All Roads, or I think that was the name of it. But that wasn't really, I mean, what I always, I was singing before I was acting. I was singing the summer I was turning 15, I was singing in the Catskill Mountains. It was a big resort area back then. And I was singing in this nightclub act, all the hotels, the nightclubs up there. But so what I always loved was, the Great American Songbook, but with a jazz bent to it. So the jazz standards and swing and big band and all kinds of jazz, blues. So these last two, I got to do that. The first one, it was 76, and they didn't want me singing that style of music back then because, it was sort of out of favor, or looked on as like my parents' music or grandparents' music back in the 70s. But
it's that Frank Sinatra stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Sinatra and Tony Bennett and
Tony Bennett. Yep.
But Ella Fitzgerald too, and and some of Nat King Cole and Sarah Vaughan and Joe Williams with the Count Basie band, and on and on. Some great singers. So that was, and I grew up listening to a lot of that. I saw Bobby Darin at the Copacabana when I was 18, and it was amazing to see him. Bobby could do that kind of music up there with the best, and so he kind of became my main man on that. But I listened to Sinatra and Sammy Davis and like I said, a lot of the great jazz singers. But Bobby was he probably had the most influence on me, and I just I love doing it. I put it aside, back then, because like I said, that music with that style was sort of not in favor. And luckily, it came back kind of in the late '80s. Harry Connick, and when he sang "It Had to Be You," and when Harry Met Sally, and then Natalie Cole did an album dedicated to her dad, Nat King Cole, and then Diana Krall came into the into the spotlight with that same kind of music, and it started building, and then a lot of people started doing standards. And Rod Stewart did like 5 albums of standards, So I said, if I'm ever going to do the music again, this is the time. So it was actually about 10 years ago that I started doing it again. Put together the show and started doing it in jazz clubs in LA and in New York, Chicago, and then started doing it in other parts of the country a little bit here and there. So it was great. It was I didn't know how people would react. It's been so long, but I took to, it was in my blood from doing it as a kid, and the response was great, and so I kept doing it. It just started, one thing led to the other, led to that CD, mostly swinging, and then it led to me meeting this other producer, Tony Manter, who produced New York High, and and that also made the Grammy ballot. So I'm waiting to see what happens, because they'll announce the final, 5 nominees in each category pretty soon. So that's they told me it was really good just to get on the ballot. Right. So we'll see what happens with that. That would be cool.
Well,
yeah.
Now I can see the '70s being tough to try and do jazz music, because the '70s were the turning point for the rock and roll with the Rolling Stones and the Led Zeppelins and all of that kind of stuff that was coming
Right.
out. And it was kind of an adjustment in the music world, especially after the late '60s, so I commend you for sticking through with that, and I think everything goes in a cycle.
Yeah.
Well, there was a big swing return in the '90s and 2000s as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Like Cherry Poppins, Daddies, and
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Yeah.
That. Yeah. Yeah. That definitely kind of brought in that was a particular very specific sound, sort of that jive swinging combination of jive and swing, but definitely it was in that kind of in that same genre, but slightly different. It's kind of like when Louis Prima did Jump, Jive, and Wail, and then Brian Setzer did that. It was more that kind of that specific kind of thing, the jive and jump blues and jive, that kind of thing.
Well, I have to say, I remember you singing on Happy Days, but listening to your stuff now, your voice is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Agreed. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I worked, when I was young, I was really pursuing that, and, was going to different, vocal teachers. I went to a couple different ones, and then continued when I arrived in LA. So the base is there, that background, and then I feel like it's gotten, as I've gotten older, it's almost gotten to a different, like it matured in a way where I think it's working better now than it did when I was younger.
You got that like Tom Jones swagger thing going on, which is pretty awesome.
Oh wow, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Which is pretty awesome. So, but I wanted to know, obviously singing is in your heart. Okay. And, that was your real passion. How the fuck did you end up acting?
Well, I became very passionate about acting too. I just kind of switched back in, it was 60. When I was doing that, the nightclub thing in the Catskills, I was 15, it was 68. So the next year, during the next year, not only was that time sort of a renaissance in the music world, but in film too, because it started shifting from purely a studio kind of movie to an independent style of film, and then I started getting into all those movies, Midnight Cowboy and The Graduate and Cool Hand Luke and Last Picture Show, and all these, all these really, really great films. And especially then first time I saw Nicholson was in Five Easy Pieces, and just blew me away. And then I shifted. I went to a different school that I'd been going to that was more for singing than acting. But then I went to one that was a serious, just acting workshop that was, I was laser focused on that and put the music aside. And then through that acting workshop, I was able to find a manager, and then I started going out on auditions, and so then I was just really pursuing acting. So it wasn't like, somebody came up and, said, oh, you'd be great for this. I was, taking the subway from Brooklyn into Manhattan for all these auditions. And then even when I was in college at Lehigh University in Pennsylvania, I was taking the bus. It's like almost 3 hours into Manhattan, then get on the subway and go to an audition that lasted 5-10 minutes, and then go back to Pennsylvania. I mean, I was like crazy going after it with just tunnel vision in a good way. It was just like I said, laser
Right.
focused. And and then went out to LA to get to, because that's where all the TV and film was being shot at that time. And it, I made some contacts and started going out on auditions there. So I became just as obsessed with acting as I had been with singing, I'd say.
No, okay. All right, so two passions.
Good answer.
Yep. No, that was a great answer. I loved it. Now, besides jazz, which is, I mean, obviously your music is jazz based. Do you listen to any other genres of music?
Oh yeah. I mean, during the late 60s, when I was, 16, 17, 18 in college, I loved what was going on. I listened to all of what we call, classic rock now.
Okay.
I listened. I really loved it. And I still do. I still love that music very much, because it was such a creative time, because musicians and groups, they were experimenting and doing things. They were mixing rock with blues, or rock with jazz, like Chicago and Blood, Sweat and Tears, and or rock with country, rock with just about anything, for all these like hybrids and progressive rock. And it was just an very inventive, creative time, I thought. Some wonderful music. So I love listening to it, but for performing and singing, it's the standards, the Great American Songbook that I love to perform. But I do sometimes I'll mix something in there. Like I'll take a song from that era, like on the CD. Somehow I thought it would work within the feeling of the CD. I did a Smokey Robinson song, "Ooh Baby Baby." Most of the others are jazz standards, but we threw that in. And then a song that was from '70s, the Sanford Townsend Band. I always loved the track of "Smoke from a Distant Fire," so we did that, but we changed it up. We did it very bluesy. But so every once in a while, I'd like to do a little more of that. Bring some of those songs from the classic rock era and play around with them. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, actually, that would be really, really cool, because I could see some of those old, late 60s, early 70s rock music being put into a blues jazz kind of a feel.
Yeah,
I think that would be really cool, because, I mean, let's face it, most music is based on it.
Yeah. Well, rock and roll was based on, came kind of from jump blues. Is very similar. Jump blues, and the jump blues kind of came from swing, and swing and jazz. I don't know. Although I don't know where that came from, because that's kind of a unique kind of sound that I think originated in the U.S. as opposed to some of the other styles. I don't know. It's an interesting question, but yeah, I think it would be great to that's what we did with Smoke from a Distant Fire. We slowed it down, did it very bluesy, because I don't want to try to do what they did with that song, because it was great. It was great. So it's different doing it bluesy, but it works. So yeah, we'll see. There's some bands that I listened to, and they had, even when you listen to like a Allman Brothers, or when they were doing blues, and when they were doing the kind of up-tempo blues, it felt, or Stevie Ray Vaughan, I could feel the swing in it. I could feel the swing in their sound. So I think it could work to play around with some of that stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I'd love to hear like a John Denver done jazzy.
That would be interesting. that would be a whole different take on it. I'll have to look through his library of songs.
I think that would just be a nice twist, and a kudos to Denver, who obviously passed away years ago, but one of my favorite country musicians of all time.
Yeah. I'll have to look, revisit some of his catalog. Maybe there'll be a great one in there for me.
I recommend Calypso.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that one. Calypso?
Yes. Calypso.
Did John Denver he did a song called Calypso?
Yes, he did.
Wow, I didn't know that. I'm going to have to check it out.
Yep.
So,
look into that one. I think that would be a great tune to put into a jazz feel. I think it would be really, it would work.
Well, you know what would be a great tune to put in is we actually have some of Don's music. We have, so Harlan sent us the video for Mac the Knife.
Yes, we do.
Oh, right.
And we do actually have the audio from New York High.
Great. I have a video of that now.
Oh, you do? Okay. You know what? Let's play Mac the Knife, and while that's playing, I'm going to try to find a video for New York High.
Yeah, I think on YouTube. I think it's on there.
Okay.
It is. I watched it earlier today.
I'll pull it down while we get this playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, the shark, baby, has such teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old Macheath, babe, and he keeps it out of sight. You know when that shark bites with his teeth, babe, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy love, though, well, old Macheath, babe. So there's never a trace of red. Now let the pain go. Now there's a tugboat down by the river, where the steamboat flag just drooping on down. And oh, that cement is there for the waiting, dear. 5 will get you 10 old Mackies back in town. Jenny Diver, oh, yeah, Sugie Tawdry, ooh, Miss Lottalinia, and old Lucy Brown. Oh, the line forms on the right bay. Now that Mackie's back in town, I said, Jenny Diver, whoa, Suki Tawdry, look out to Miss Lottalinia and old Lucy Brown. Yes, that line forms on the right got it.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Wow.
I was expecting, there was a different version that I thought I sent Harlan, where I was doing it with the Orlando Jazz Orchestra, 17 pieces, and we had 4 cameras, and so it was great. But this one, I put that one together some years ago, and I intercut 2 different performances. You could tell it was a little different background.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those was from the very first show I did, when I came back with the music. It was from the very first one. So it's kind of fun to see that in there. But if you get a chance, look up Donny Most, Mac the Knife, Full Sail. That was the name of the venue, Full Sail. And you'll see the one with the big band, because that was smoking too. It was really,
That's awesome. Ralph Malph does
That
the
was
blues.
wild.
I love that. Bob and Bobby, you could tell I loved Bobby. I mean, he made that one really famous. And that's the one I usually close with, close the show with Mac.
Wow. Very impressive.
Well,
Very
thank-
impressive.
I
You
found-
changed my memories of that whole of you, and thanks a lot. Appreciate
Right?
that.
Altered your perception of who I am or something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up watching, Happy Days, and
Right.
I mean, I'm just a little bit younger than you, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also wanted to bring up that you've made cameo appearances in a number of those shows back in the day.
Yeah.
Emergency, and shows like that.
Emergency. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I watched religiously
Yeah.
as
I did.
as I was growing up.
Uh-huh.
Fantasy Island, and
Yeah.
I mean, it
Love
was
Boat.
the Love Boat, and it's like, come on, man, that was like my Saturday and Sunday nights.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, and then I even did Star Trek Voyager. I did a 2-parter where I played
Yes,
totally
you did.
did like a villain doctor who was the sort of the bad guy. And
Yeah, it was nice to see you as a dick.
yeah, I enjoyed that.
It was a nice switch.
Yeah, well, I just talk about Switch. In recent years, I've been doing a lot of films. And I went from all different kinds of roles. I went from playing a pastor, local pastor, to a polygamist. I'm not kidding you. When I played pastor, then a polygamist, then a prison guard, and then a king, and then a Western, and then a career criminal, and now, and just recently, based on a true story, it was a real gang. I played the head of a Jewish mob during Prohibition with all the bootlegging and all that. So I love playing all different kinds of roles. And it was tough when I first got off the show. It was really tough because you were so associated with it, that show and the character, which, I mean, it was great, but I wanted to move on and do other things. So it was some frustrating times, but I kept persevering and slowly chipped away, with doing a part like in Star Trek, and people go, oh, wow. And then doing a show called The Crow. I played a psychiatrist.
Yep.
And then, and Sliders and all different shows like that.
Sliders.
Yeah. And some independent films.
You also did some voice acting.
Yes.
Yeah. A show that's sort of like a cult, Dungeons and Dragons. It's still popular. So I did the animated version, and a lot of people still come up to me, and they want to talk about that more than Happy Days.
Eric the Cavalier.
Yeah, and I also did a special once, Hagar, CBS special Hagar something. The voice stuff is fun. I like doing that. I wouldn't mind doing that again, actually, especially now with this. Well, I think the strike probably even affects the voiceover actors. So I don't know, because right now there's nothing going on. No work.
Right.
Getting a little. It's getting a little old now. It's time to
Right.
get back.
Right. So I wanted to ask you, and I try and ask actors and people like yourself, what are your personal thoughts on this AI?
What is my personal what on it?
What are your personal thoughts on AI?
Oh,
Good or
well,
bad?
well, I think that there's probably, like all the technology that's going on, there's a lot of good, but it's like we're not quite ready for some of it. It's like going a little bit ahead of where we are in terms of our consciousness, in terms of our sensibilities. I don't know what, but it could be dangerous, in many ways. And in this case with the actors, the producers want to, if you want it to be where you work for them in the film or TV show, then they could use AI to take your likeness, your image, and do whatever they want with it. AI will, create a whole other show with you, a whole other scenario, whole other character, and you don't get paid, and they could do whatever they want with you, and it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right at all.
No, you should get royalties if they're using your likeness and your image. Period.
Yeah, absolutely, and also probably say permission to do what if they take it and put it in a way that's just you find incredibly offensive, or you find I would never in a million years do something like that.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
Donny Most in a porno flick.
Yeah. So it should be yeah. I mean, that would have a whole new career.
Can't take him anywhere.
Right?
Yeah. So anyway, there should be at least, I think, not only the royalties, but then your permission. Because in the past, when I've had that happen where people wanted to use a clip that I did in something, and they wanted to show it in something else, and I had to agree. They had me sign a release saying that I'm fine with that, and I was going to get paid such and such for it, and we had to agree on it. Now, if you don't have that, it just doesn't seem. I can't understand how they could even think that should be the way it goes. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, AI can be dangerous. I think it was yesterday or the day before, it was local, where I believe it was a high school girl, had some problems with a couple of her classmates, used AI in a photograph of her and turned it into nudity.
Yeah.
And posted it.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
And that's just not cool, man. You don't,
exactly. That's exactly, we're just, as a society, some people that, maybe would use it responsibly, but there's a lot of people that aren't, and will run the gamut. And we're just not ready for this. It's going faster than we as a society can keep up with.
Wow. Now, do you think computers can become self-aware?
That I don't know. That we'd need to talk to some, genius physicists or, the computer gods, because I don't know. I mean, that's kind of like, the movie 2001 a little bit, right?
Right.
That's what you're talking
Terminator
about.
and yep.
Right. Yeah. Probably. Okay. I would think it's probably possible that that they're generating their own thought patterns and not just following the programming, but going to that other level of being up there with the way we think and beyond. Probably
Okay, well,
will.
they do say that humans only use 10% of their brain, so,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of empty space up there. I can attest to that.
Me too.
Well, then if you start thinking about like the double slit experiment and stuff like that, like, you know, what our minds actually do, then you can get real crazy. Yeah.
I don't know about that. What experiment was that?
Oh, so the double slit experiment, it's where they measure a photon going through two holes, and they measure essentially the results of it. So they can essentially do a measurement without looking at it. And basically the measurements change based on if you're looking at it or not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's a whole like quantum physics type of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, then they're talking about like, you know, how does it know you're looking at it? And then like, sorry.
Oh, there's that thumb again.
Yeah, I know. It thought I was doing a thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah, just some crazy stuff.
Hey.
But if you got some free time, you know, just Google double
boy.
slit experiment, and
Okay.
yeah, it's really cool stuff.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah, but with AI, I was just using it today. I mean, it could be a really great tool, but it can definitely be scary.
Yeah.
I had to do an image for work today, and I had to find like an image with like a big pile of leaves and like a messy yard, and I couldn't find the right image. So I found one that was like similar, and then Photoshop has this new tool where I just took the lawn, circled an area, and just told it add pile of leaves, and it added a pile of leaves. It looked like it was actually there.
Wow.
But then I'm doing a video the other day, and I'm trying to find, or a picture the other day, trying to find a actor where he's smiling, and I couldn't find a picture. So I found a regular picture of him, circled his mouth, and said change to smiling, and it did. It looked so freaky that I decided not to use it. So it was,
Wow,
That
that's
can
weird.
get
Man.
You're starting to
That
scare
can
me,
get
Leo.
Yeah, you're starting to scare me, you know.
well,
Yes, he's hung.
but it can be a good tool though when you know, if used properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Were you able to
Okay.
find the new song?
I did.
The video. Oh,
Here
cool.
we go.
Cool.
Yep.
New York is getting me high. Girls by the Store Club have been catching my eye. Moonbeams dance on a Waldorf hotel. Could it be I've fallen under a New York spell? Downtown Manhattan's like a shower of stars, shining reflections of those New York bars. George M. Cohen, another Times Square side. Could it be I'm dancing on a New York high? Norman Rockwell, you're the most. Paint me in the picture post. Oh, New York, you've opened my eyes. Stepping out on Broadway, and I'm high as the skies. Rogers and Hammerstein, and it's plain to see why. Could it be I'm dancing on a New York high? Coney Island Beach for me. Marlon Brando.
Amazing.
It was kind of fun.
Wow.
Fun.
Wow.
Fun.
Now, who does your writing? Who writes the lyrics?
Well, most of the songs that I do, like I was mentioning, are standards, but this was the one original. So, and on my other album, I had one original. Wherever I find it, and this one was a friend of mine said you got to hear a couple of songs that a friend of mine, Mike Reed, he was talking about, wrote, and he saw me perform, and he said, I think it would be good for you. So I listened to a few of them, and they were really good, and that one just really jumped out at me. And I thought it was not only was the lyrics and the melody were great and the feel, but I thought the time was right. It's it was kind of around the pandemic, just after the pandemic when I heard it, and I'm thinking it's like, okay, now we're back on a New York high again. It was a good timing for it, I thought. So anyway, we'll see how it does here, and also seeing what it does on that chart in UK. It's just a whole new kind of thing. I'm excited about what's happening, and I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm on the New York high. I'll keep going.
Wow, it's phenomenal. Have you ever tried to write your own lyrics?
No, I haven't. I haven't done that yet. I'd like to try that at some point. I think I would need to do it with somebody else because I would bounce off of them and give me ideas and that sort of thing. I don't think I could do it alone. I think I need to work with somebody. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do that.
That actually matches up with a question Caroline's asking if you're ever going to do an album with Anson. And, they're also asking, did he stay on Happy Days after you and Ronnie left because of his wife being pregnant?
Did he stay on? Oh, did Anson stay on after me? No. It was his decision. He wanted to renew his. Our contracts were up that year, and he wanted to go back, and everyone did except Ron and I were the ones that year that decided it was time to move on. Ron, was trying to do something like direct or something like that. I don't know whatever happened. I don't know what happened with that.
Right, that's a whole nother story right there.
Right.
That's a whole nother show.
Yes, a whole. And I wanted to, do other kinds of roles, and I thought it was time to move on. But Anson stayed because, just like everyone else did, the show was doing great, and we all got along great. And Anson and I have performed together a few times. We've done a show. We're great friends. We're great friends, and maybe we'll do some more of it because we're talking to somebody actually about a tour in Australia. We'll see. But we're great friends, and it would be fun to do some more with Anson. Absolutely.
Nice.
Wow. You should just do a pilot called Golden Days.
Golden Days.
Oh,
yes.
There you go.
All right.
Are you still in touch with Henry as well?
Yeah, I saw Henry about 2 weeks ago. He was on a book tour, and he was doing a speaking engagement and signing in Boulder. So he called me and said, I'm going to be there, and so we got together. I didn't get to spend a lot of time because he was on a whirlwind schedule, but I went down there early and got to talk and catch up with him. It was great. So we stay in touch, usually by email, because everyone's doing different things. And the same thing with Ron. He's all over the place. So, but through email and texting, we have a four-way text going between Anson, Henry, Ron, and myself.
Wow.
So it's nice, really good.
So I'm going to ask you a tough question. What's your favorite Happy Days episode? I know you've been asked this before.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And the one that I usually bring up, it was because it was the first episode, and it was in the third season, where the show revolved around Ralph. It was the first episode where that happened. Up until then, I was always more supporting, but this was the episode, first time for me, that it was all around me and Fonzie. It was the one where I accidentally, hit his motorcycle. It was parked, and then I freaked out and I tried to go forward, and it was something was caught. And then I went reverse, and it totally destroyed, mangled his motorcycle. And he found out he was out to, get the guy who did it. And so I was freaking out, and I was gonna, head west. I said to her, he goes, "Where are you going, Ralph?" And I said, "West." I just getting out of Dodge, and it was really well written episode, funny, and so that one stands out to me because I prepared like crazy for that one. I got into all the really method kind of approach to doing that. It was fun.
That was a great episode.
Yeah, it was. Wow, I actually remember that.
Same here.
Yeah. So
I do. I remember that because you did like 167 episodes. Is that?
Either that or 175.
It was somewhere right around there. Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, and they did 250 because they went 4 more years after that when I left. So, but
it wasn't as successful though because you weren't there.
That was the reason. It had to be. And it changed. They had to change it. And I didn't really get to see. I didn't see much of the show in those 4 years because I was, busy trying to keep things moving forward. Thinking about moving forward. I have to go. I'm sorry, but
no, you're good, man. You're good.
Because it said till the hour 6 my time, and so I have to split. I'm sorry to.
No worries. We'll let you go. So where do you like people interacting with you on social media?
Well, Facebook, I'm under Don Most, and Instagram it's Don Most 1, and Twitter it's @Most_Don. So, and there's a website realdonnymost.com, but I've been neglecting that. I'm woefully behind in keeping it updated. So I'll do that soon, but there's still some fun stuff there too to check out.
And I know people can find your music on Amazon, Spotify, just about wherever music can be found.
And videos on YouTube. Yep.
Yeah. iTunes for sure. It's out there. So if you like this one, I would recommend checking out Mostly Swinging too. That was with a big band because the New York High was a smaller jazz combo, but Mostly Swinging was with a great big band, some top musicians from LA, and it swings. It really swings. So check it out.
Awesome.
So Don, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to join us and have this discussion. I've got a lot of memories over the years, and tonight you've given me some new ones.
Oh,
and
great!
I appreciate that.
Oh well, thanks, Jeff.
I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, and I enjoyed our conversation. And Ben, I didn't get to talk to you as much, but I felt your presence.
Ben's having technical issues of his own, and I have to say, Don, I'm a huge fan. Absolutely loved us, being able to talk with you tonight. So thank you so much for that. And I know you have to go, so we'll let you go. And thank you again so much for the time.
Yes, and we wish you the best and peace.
Stay safe.
Okay.
Thank you. Same to you. Wish you the best, and everybody stay well.
You as well.
You as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Take care.
Awesome. Well,
wow. Okay. That was mind blowing. Actually.
Yeah, I agree.
It was mind blowing. So and to all our viewers out there, thank you for watching, and I don't know. You're talking about a classic. You're talking about somebody that's going to be in the history books for decades and decades and decades to come.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and how many of us, grew up watching Happy Days? Like that was a staple. Just like, it's
not just Happy Days, but everything that he's been in.
Oh yeah. I know he's done a lot, but just
yeah.
And I really appreciate him taking the time out to, just to sit and chat with, your everyday guys like us. That means a lot. That means that, he's a people person. He cares, but I can see that, his schedule is just psycho.
Yeah.
So, that was just phenomenal. So, all right, Leo, close it out.
Yeah, we'll wrap things up. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know me, just Google me. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. We got a ton of awesome people doing a ton of awesome stuff. Head on over to thetokingdead.com. You can learn more. And I do a bunch of other stuff during the week. We're doing Splash Pages live every Tuesday. So check out our Splash Pages Comic Book Club. We got a lot of awesome videos going up on YouTube as well. A lot of special, interviews and clips and everything. So definitely check that out. And Jeffrey.
Hey, so Splash Pages.
Yeah.
Is that like facials?
No, it's a splash page. Comic splash page where.
You know
what it is.
Yeah. No. I just wanted to make sure that everybody else knew what that was.
Oh, you were going naughty.
Typical.
No, not me. I want to thank Don for coming on. That was absolutely phenomenal. As far as us, just go to Token with the Dead on Facebook. Stilltoking.com. The novel is out. It is getting great reviews. If you haven't checked that out yet, just go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Take a look at that. We get some big events coming up. Those are all posted on our social media. You will see that if you want to come out and just say hi. That would be great.
Very good. Benjamin.
Unreal. That's all I got to say.
No, it's real.
Unreal.
Oh, it's real.
No, unreal. I see. It seems like every season we get better and better and better guests. They're all great, though. All our guests have been great. But to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, I'll have a new computer by then and the shit will work right.
You better. Bye.
Peace out.
So come on.